Hello, thank you for watching. First, I apologise for my voice being a little bit croaky and the fact that I've got a very bad cold. Today I'm going to talk about how to deal with double decreases at the beginning or end of a pattern repeat. One of the things I recommend for, especially for knitters that are new to lace knitting, or if you've got a very complicated pattern repeat or loads and loads of stitches, is to use markers to mark off each pattern repeat. This helps you keep track of where in the pattern you are, especially if you've got, say, hundreds of stitches, or a difficult pattern repeat and you struggle to kind of keep track, or if you stop middle of the row, you struggle to work out where you are, things like that. One of the questions I get a lot is what to do when you get a double decrease at the very end or beginning of a pattern repeat. So that's what I'm going to talk about today. The stitch pattern that I'm actually knitting from, the chart from that, you can find on the blog post that goes with this tutorial, and there'll be a link below this video. So I'm going to knit through this row and show you how I deal with this. So I'm going to start with knit 2, and then I'm going to do a knit 2 together. Now you can see here that I've got my marker there, and I've only got one stitch before the marker. So what I do is I just slip that stitch, take the marker off, slip the stitch back, knit 2 together, and then put the marker back on, because the marker comes after the knit 2 together. And then I knit the next 2 stitches, knit the next stitch on the different row here. Then I do a yarn over. Now that knit 2 together that I did here is to make up for that yarn over. Then I knit 3, yarn over, knit 1. Now I'm going to do a slip on, knit 2 together, pass slip stitch over, which takes up 3 stitches. It reduces from 3 stitches down to 1, and that's one form of double decrease. Now as you can see, before the marker I've only got 2 stitches. If you look on the chart A, there is only the double decrease before the marker. So it looks from the chart, on the chart I've only got 1 square before the marker, so that first stitch there. But really this next stitch is going to take up those 3 stitches there. So what I do is I slip the next one knitwise, then I take this one off, put that stitch back again, knit 2 together, and then I lift the slip stitch over. So that's my slip on, knit 2 together, pass slip stitch over. Then I put my marker back on, and then I knit 1, yarn over, knit 3, yarn over, knit 1, and then I got the same thing again, slip on, knit 2 together, pass slip stitch over, which takes 3 stitches, and I've only got 2 there. And that's because of the way the increases and decreases are placed in this pattern. I've got my 2 increases there, and to make up for the yarn overs, basically make a stitch. So I've got my 2 yarn overs here, which are also increases, and to make up for those I've got a decrease here. So that's why it looks like, the question I get a lot is, well, what do? I've only got 2 stitches left. Well, you just have to move that marker. That's all there is. So the first stitch I slip knitwise. Now the second stitch, because I'm only moving that out of the way to take the marker off, because I'm going to do the next knit 2 together, which I can't do with the marker there. So that one, when I slip it, I do it purlwise, because if I slip it knitwise, I'm actually twisting it. So I just do it purlwise, take the marker off, and that way I can just put it back on. If I do it knitwise, then I got to remember to untwist it as I put it back. I do knit 2 together, lift the slip stitch over, and then I put the marker back on, because the decrease, as you'll see from the chart, is before the marker. Knit 1, yarn over, and then knit 3. So that's when that's the chart A in the blog post, and that's when the decrease comes at the very end of a pattern repeat. So I'm going to just swap my knitting out quickly, and we're now going to look at when the double decrease comes at the very beginning of a pattern repeat. So I've done a few rows there. Let's just see which row I'm on. Okay, I'm on row 3, I think. So I'm going to start with knit 2. I actually slipped the first stitch because I like to do that. So knit 3. So I slipped the first one, then I knit 2. Yarn over, knit 1, and then I got 1 stitch left here. And if you look at chart B, that's where the red line is, so that's where my pattern repeat is, so that's where that marker should be. So if I slip that stitch purlwise, take it off, take the marker off, put that stitch back, put the marker back on, and then I can slip that one knitwise, knit 2 together, oops, knit 2 together, lift the slip stitch over, knit 1, yarn over, knit 3, yarn over, knit 1, and that's where my other markers should be. So I've got 2, 4, 6, 8 stitches. So I've got 8 stitches between each marker. That's my 8 stitches. The decrease that makes up for those 2 yarn overs that I've done is the one at the very beginning. So this next stitch really belongs to the next pattern repeat. So I slip it purlwise, so I'm not twisting it, take the marker off, slip it back, put the marker back on, slip it knitwise, knit 2 together, oops, pass slip stitch over, knit 1, yarn over, knit 3, yarn over, knit 1, slip 1, put the marker back there, slip 1, knit 2 together, pass slip stitch over, knit 1, yarn over, and then knit 3. Okay. So on this one, on the chart B, the double decrease is is the beginning of the pattern repeat. So I got my marker and then I got the double decrease. So that means that the decrease is first, and that decrease makes up for the 2 yarn over I use. Okay. Now in the first example, in chart A, the decrease is at the end of the pattern repeat, so I do my yarn overs first, which increases 2 stitches, and then I decrease those 2 stitches to make up for them. Now it doesn't really matter how this works out. The main thing is that once you work the double decrease, you then put your marker in the correct place, so that for the next row your pattern repeat is in the correct place, so you can work out where you go for the next row. So all you do is take the marker off, work your double decrease, and then put the marker back where it should be. So you can see from the chart or from your written instructions whether the marker should be before or after the double decrease. That will depend on the pattern, and you can see that in the chart the pattern repeat is the red line in my patterns. So you can see if the red line's before the double decrease, you put the marker there. If it's after the double decrease, then you put it there. Now sometimes if you're working in the round and you're using double decreases like this, you may find when you start a round that you have to actually knit. You get to the marker that marks the beginning of the round, and you have to actually take the marker off, knit 1 stitch, then put the marker on, and then start the next round. Or you may stop 1 stitch before the end of the round, move the marker to that spot, so that's where your beginning of the round starts, and then carry on. This does sound like it would shift the beginning of the round, but it doesn't. It's just the way the increases and the decreases are placed to work out the lace pattern. Okay, I hope that makes sense. Any questions, do ask them in the blog post. If you want more information about me or more tutorials, go to www.yarnaddict.co.uk and click on tutorials. Thank you very much for watching.